One sec, I gotta call Paul over. You wanna see if the board that I shoveled through boots? Hey everybody, how's it going? Friends, family, enemies, and sometimes they're all just one and the same. So today, we're gonna be working on a MacBook. We have here is an A1989 MacBook. It does not appear to be turning on. First thing we're gonna do before we get to work on this MacBook is remove the coronavirus from it. This machine has been sent to us by a data recovery company. And it says on the ticket, please check rush availability. Sticker from the customer. That's how you know you're getting rush service, when you send your MacBook to a company that's going to mail it across the United States to me. The customer was working and saw smoke coming from the keyboard and the laptop turned off. She said, never had any liquid damage. Please let me know if this can be rushable. Well, one way to find out. So you tried to use the computer and it started smoking. Sounds like a Mac to me. Just a normal day using an Apple product. Let's open this thing up and see if we can figure out why it decided to randomly smoke. Besides the fact that it is, after all, an Apple product. Alright, so let's see if there's any hints here. So, take a look here. I don't see anything here that looks like it smoked. So, we're just going to do what we always do here, which is, first thing we do, is see how many amps it's taking on a USB-C amp meter with the battery unplugged. Now remember, if the battery's plugged in, then PP-Bus G3 Hot is going to be charging the battery, so we're not going to be getting the reading of how much amperage the actual board is taking. We're going to be seeing the amperage of the board plus the battery, which removes the diagnostic purpose that I get from plugging this in and measuring the amperage that the board is taking. All right. So, okay, what does a little Chinese amp meter say? Hello, Rockford. Okay, we're stuck at 5 volts and 15 milliamps, which usually means dead T2. No. Oh, son of a bitch. All right, let's see if that's what it is. Yes, 2 N's. Someone who gets it. All right, so let's see what my PP-Bus G3 hot voltage is. Okay, so let's get Paul Daniels' software on the screen. Always a good day when Paul Daniels' software is on the screen. And we have 1 ohm to ground on PP-Bus G3 hot. So just to give you an idea of what I measured and why, let's open up a schematic for this board. This is the 820-00850. And I'm going to open this up. And Paul Daniels' amazing software, which you can check out at pldaniels.com. If you use code Rossman while checking out, he'll send you the bug-free version instead of the shit version he always sends me. I didn't say that, did I? Oh, shit, we're streaming. So this is going to have a list of power rails somewhere. Let's get the list of power rails up on the screen. Here we go. So over here we got a nice list of power rails. And the first one is PP-Bus G3 Hot. Remember, G3 Hot rails show up first. They're always on. S5, rails that are on when the computer is off. S4, rails that are on when it's hibernating, meaning that it's saved everything to the disk. And if you hit a button on your keyboard or your trackpad, it'll turn it back on, meaning that power to the keyboard and trackpad have to be on. S3, sleeping, meaning that it suspends everything to RAM. When you hit sleep in your computer, you close the laptop, and it remembers where all your programs are. It's because it saved it to RAM, which has to be powered, which means the S3 rails have to be on. And SO, that's the top state, which is what my computer is in now while actually streaming. So the first rail on that list was PP-Bus G3 Hot. And in Paul Daniels' amazing software, which you could find at pldaniels.com, when you right-click, it'll show you everywhere on the board that it shows up. So I checked it out right over there, PP-Bus G3 Hot. Do this, do this, do this. 1 ohm to ground, which means there's a short circuit. Something's going to be blown up. So let's get the board out of the case and see if we can figure out what short-circuited and make this MacBook work again. In order to take this MacBook out of the case, we're going to have to take out a bunch of screws, which are all different in size and shape, just to make it maximally confusing to put the board back in the case when you're done, because Apple. Okay, this is almost out of the computer. Now, also, you may have noticed that it's stuck at 5 volts when I plug the charger, and it's not going to 20 volts. So you may wonder, if it's not going to 20 volts, why am I even touching the PP-Bus G3 Hot Short before I solve that problem? Well, on a board with no corrosion, it not going at 20 volts is going to be something that's likely unsolvable. So what I'm doing here is procrastination. I'm going to procrastinate putting off that, solving that problem that I'm not able to solve. And I'm going to solve the problem that I can solve. Because once I solve the problem that I can solve, I'll get a nice happy little dopamine kick. My brain will send out a chemical that will make me feel like I'm smarter than I actually am. And then it'll make me more effective, happier, all that stuff, and then I'll be more likely to be able to solve the other problem. So let's see how that goes. All right, so let's take a look at what this looks like under the microscope, shall we? So let's take a look around the board, and I think we found our PP bus short. Holy crap. Wow. One of the things you got to keep in mind here with this Apple product, is that there's no liquid damage. Do you see liquid over here? Do you see any liquid damage? Does anybody here see liquid? There's no liquid. This is just straight up Apple right here. Look at that. No liquid damage. None. That cap just decided, you know, I'm done being inside of a MacBook. Fuck that. I'm good. We're out. So, first thing to do here, put some hot air. So we're just going to blow some hot air on this using my special tool. I call mine the de Blasio. De Blasio blows lots of hot air anytime you push the button. Feel free to name your hot air station after your favorite politician. Electro Boom calls his hot air station the Trump. That's another popular one. No flux? Oh no, we're going raw here. Does the mask help with solder fumes? I don't know. I don't think so. That's what I have this fume extractor for. Wow, this is welded on the board here. Alright, that's not going to come off with heat. That's not so. Yeah, so I use this. See this over here? This is a fume extractor. And you should have something like this if you're soldering. If you don't have a fume extractor, this is a HAKKO FA430. You should at least like do something like solder next to a window or something. But, you know, I prefer this thing myself. Yeah, I use this. If you're working at a place without a fume, you know, it's one thing if you're working in your home, fine, you know, don't spend that much money. Open up a window, buy a $12 window fan or something, and just have it blow the air out the window, and you're good. If you're working at a job and your boss does not want to buy one of these, quit. Or tell him to go fuck himself, because that means your health and your lungs and your well-being is not worth a couple of bucks. So every station here has one of these. So it doesn't really do much because the solder fumes don't get to me anyway. Now what does get to me is the smell of that garbage capacitor. So this cap I'm going to have to try and break off kind of like a... What I'm going to do here is kind of treat it like a paper clip if you want to, you know, break it, just back and forth, back and forth. Now, I also have to this begs the question, is this board even remotely reusable? Like, is this crater too deep for it to ever turn on again? If I don't solder constantly, is a fan in a well-ventilated area fine? I would dare say just fan out the window. Like, fan away from you, really fast. Or what I used to do in the very beginning when I was soldering by myself and I didn't have a fan, I used to do this. Solder, hold breath. I used to do this. Solder, hold breath. But, you know, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. We're past those days. I hope we're past those days. So now this is just going to be a little bit of cutting and carving. Pretend it's the Thanksgiving turkey. Pretend it's the person on the Adorama website that says that things are in stock when they're not. And just carve it. Now, and the thing is, some of this could be ground and some of this could be the power rail. So I want to cut away any of the ambiguous stuff, but without cutting away what could be signaling. And I'm really hoping that there's not signaling that's gotten destroyed in these traces over here. But there is a chance that there is signaling that is that could have been screwed up here. Like, see all these little points? See that? See those little circles over there? Circle, circle, circle. All of that could be data lines or signaling, and because we're very close to the CPU. And I don't want the 12 volts that's at this supposed to be at this capacitor anywhere near that, but I also don't want to cut them either. So this is... So I kind of want to cut off the excess at each point, but without actually cutting away that stuff. Because I don't have anything that says how the board is, like, how the board is put together with regards to what each of those are. The board view software only tells you what everything is on the first layer. So if you take a look at the board view software, I can only see what's on what all these different little signals are and where they go on the first layer, but I can't see that for layers down under. That's something that requires, I don't know, banging an engineer that works at Apple or something. You never know. Can't rule it out. Well, I guess for now. But, you know, once I can get back in the gym. Getting my gains back. This is indeed a think different moment, Cuddly. Alright. So we still got quite a bit to cut away here. And yes, so this does have to get fixed in order for you to get data off of it. The actual data is encrypted by the T2 chip to this specific board. So if I don't get this specific board working again, this person's data is gone. All because this board decided to commit seppuku. That cap just thought to itself, I would rather set myself on fire, like a little fucking terrorist. I would rather light myself on fire than exist inside of a MacBook anymore. Just yelled some shit like, doused itself in gasoline and off it went. Alright, let's see if I got rid of my short. Ha! Yeah. I'm not doing that, smut not. There's not... You can't pay me enough. Actually, you could pay me enough, but they're not going to want to pay me enough. They're underfilled. There's... Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so there's still more to peel. You know what? I like a challenge. I take a challenge. I'll take a challenge. We need to cut a little bit more. Fine. Anywhere where I see two layers are touching and I see exposed metal, that's where I'm trying to scrape it away. Get the fuck out of there. Let Paul do it, someone said. You know what? That's really tempting. That's really tempting. Let's see. Still shorted? Oh! Oh! Oh, never mind. Wait, maybe? Maybe? 170? 260? 300? Yes! Oh! Short almost gone. All right, let's keep going. See? Some success. I can't... Let's keep digging. I feel like I'm taking the board's pants off. Doesn't this kind of look like a sexual organ of some sort? I mean, like, you know, from an electronics point of view. But look at that. It's kind of weird, isn't it? You're weird for saying that. Oh. Here we go. 2,000? 2,400 ohms? 28? For those who are not electronic savvy, we're looking for the number to go up. We don't want resistance to ground. So we started at 1. We went up to 100 something. Now we're up to 10,000. If this turns on, I will be so impressed. But I doubt it will. I think the reason it's stuck at 5 volts is because there's other stuff that goes through there that's not. All right, so we got 5 volts, 255 milliamps. 20 volts, 50 milliamps. Wait, 20 volts, 60. Come on, use more than 50 milliamps. Come on, boot. Boot, you piece of shit, boot. Oh, 200 milliamps. All right, this is probably booting. Holy shit, I gotta see if this is a picture. 1 sec, I gotta call Paul over. You wanna see if the board that I shoveled through boots?
Shoveled through?
You have to see this.
Dug through the board? On what area?
PP bus cap, it went down about 4 layers. I'm excited to see if this has an image.
Oh god. Oh god.
I know. It had 1 ohm, then 50 ohm, then 100 ohm, then 2,000 ohm. Now it's I'm up to 10,000, so I think I'm okay to boot.
What's on that resistor?
Probably nothing important. The resistor is 5 volt G3 shit to CPU reg. Yeah, PP. I don't know what G3S means. Do you know what the S? Because it used to be G3H.
I don't know what
for hot.
Sustain.
I'm assuming S is for shit. G3 shit.
G3 sustain.
I'm excited because it's going to 20 volts and it's taking 200 milliamps.
I don't think that 5 volt signal's there anymore.
Oh, who needs it? Let's see. I'm excited. You think it'll boot?
Maybe.
A picture? An Apple logo?
It all depends on that 5 volt signal.
This got sent in by a data recovery company with rates over $2,000. Starting. You know how much they're probably going to charge their customer for this? Makes me sick. Anyway, let's see what we got. Ooh. Screen and charger. That's all I need. What's also interesting on this one, if PP bus is shorted to ground, you get 5 volts instead of 20. Because I wasn't getting 20 volts until I removed that short.
Yeah, I can't make PP bus. It doesn't like that.
Wait, I forgot these stupid cables with the metal on the top. Okay, 5 volts, 200 milliamps.
20 volts.
No boot, says Juan Tomek. Screw you. In the words of Vince McMahon,
200 milliamps.
Screw you, you're fired.
1 amp.
1 amp? Give me an image. Image? Apple logo!
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
What the fuck?
Let's see, does it boot all the way? Okay, I'm just getting greedy. You have to see. I'm 4 layers deep.
The whole... Please, bro?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to bring that back.
What'd you do?
I dug 4 layers deep for a PP bus short that exploded and left a little hole in the board. And it was at 1 ohm, then it was 50 ohms, then 100 ohms, then 2,000, and I got it to 10,000. I kept cutting away at it.
High fan spin in 3.
No fan spin. I didn't plug it in. I just want the data. I could care less about the rest. Come on, boot, you fuck. Boot! What? What the? Oh, that's such a troll. All right, as you can see, it boots into an operating system.
Fast boot shit? What the hell was that?
Fast boot. It took like a minute and a half.
No, but there was no bar.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden it was just there.
I think the new ones don't have a bar. Wow. Look at this.
Another thing that Catalina got rid of was a bar.
Look at this. What the You know what would be really cool is if we had software that showed you what the bottom, put green stuff and call it good as new. It would be, because with, with ZXW, it tells you what's under the layers, like layer 2, layer 3, level 4.
Oh, yeah.
For long screw damage, it would be cool if we, what is that? Like, what is that? What if I had to peel that?
I've been doing that. For specific areas on boards, I've been peeling them back and taking pictures so that we know where it is, what's there. Specifically, the one I did was underneath the keyboard connector.
Oh.
Because that's been a really bad spot that does that.
This is awesome. So should I put the capacitors back? I'm kind of afraid if I put heat, like the layers merging or something. Do you really need those capacitors? You got so many as is. PP bus CPU is such a sissy rail. It's like it's already flat. You don't need all this anti-ripple rubbish. Yeah, maybe. All right. You know what? I'm gonna put the caps back on that. Should I put a cap back on that? I'm kind of, I'm not. I'll put a cap here. I'll put this one back. You're not getting this one back. Fuck out of here. You need this. No. You'll get. I'll give you this one, but not this one. So I gotta find a donor, put that on there, and then we will call this a day. Fixed. Working. Holy crap. Wow. So many people assume that I'm smart rather than just assuming that it's, a sociopath with an X-Acto knife. Because realistically speaking, you could pay me to do this all day. Honestly, I would do this for free. Like if you told me that you would give me a job, I would get $2 an hour, but I just had to take a knife and just beat the shit and stab Apple products all day, I'd probably do it for $2 an hour. Honestly, I'd do this for free. Like, I can't tell the customer that. Because they got to pay for this data recovery so I could pay rent, staff, insurance, and all that other horse shit. But I'd do this for free. Scrape an Apple product. Scrape. All right, let me get a donor board. Grab some caps and put it on there. Can you at least fill the hole with some green UV resin? If it'll make you happy, fine. Fine. Okay, so that is the PP bus end of the cap. I need to grab another one. Okay. I'll put one cap there. Only one. Nope, don't touch it anymore. It's gonna bother me. The rail is rippling. The rail is not supposed to ripple. Please fill hole with UV. And 2 caps in the place of 1. Oh, that's fine. We'll think about it, okay? Really want to limit what I do to this. We have to be very careful. Data first. I believe. I believe in myself today. I believe I can fly. At 12.56 volts, my PP bus will touch the sky. Do you think the data recovery place will sell it back to the customer as fixed? I don't think they care one way or the other. When you do data recovery, you usually give the customer back something, and you tell them, like, listen, if this works, it's a bonus, but don't expect it to. But this is the way of the world. The better advertised and capitalized businesses will charge $2,000 to $8,000 for work that I did for a few $100. I'm not going to put another cap on top of that because I don't really feel like stacking it. I have no desire for this board to have pressure on it after this. So that's good enough for me. Let's clean this thing up. You know, Marty, I still have problems listening to that Aaliyah Age Ain't Nothing But a Number album. Track 4, the self-titled track, I really like. It's a very... Honestly, he was a good musician. He was a talented beat maker, I'll give him that. Because I actually enjoyed listening to that. And then I found out the history of him as a human, and then it kind of creeped me out, and I couldn't enjoy it anymore. But I enjoyed the music. Put another to the right. Yeah, but then I gotta like find some funky way to stick it to the board. It's just... I don't need that other cap there. Do you mind if I call you at the shop for a brief talk? You'll never get me. We get over 600 calls a day, and that's excluding people that phone in their YouTube comments. So I don't pick up anymore ever. You're welcome to call if you have a question, but most likely Kevin or Shane or someone else will be answering. Yeah, like streaming would be impossible if I actually answered the phone. Now, the fun part here is going to be putting a layer of green shit. The upper part of the cap is not connected to anything anymore. Perhaps it isn't. One way to find out. This is UVH 900. This is the green stuff that I use you cure it with UV. It's very useful because what you can do is, let's say you mess up something under a BGA package. You can put this there, clean up your work, and then solder the BGA chip on top. The heat from your soldering is not going to mess up the green goo. So it's really cool that it cures with UV and not heat. Thank you, Vincius, for the euro. All right, let's make sure that my short is still gone before I cure it, because God knows if I don't make sure the short is gone before I cure it, the short will not be gone. Short is gone. All right, next. Oh, first I got a little bit of green shit on the other side of the board. Now I actually got this Corona Killer UV thing, so I usually use my normal little UV pen. But it's not as fun now that I have the Corona Killer. I got this Corona Killer for the office. See, because I have a little UV pen. See, where's my UV pen? Here we go. I have this little thing, but I have so much of it here. By the way, for those watching, this is a UV pen. So if you look at your screen, you're going to be seeing UV light right now, and it's going to burn you like the sun. So look away. I'm going to use the Corona Killer. This here is the Corona Killer. 20-watt Corona Killer. This is my little UV pen, but the UV pen doesn't really do much. It's like a little UV pen. It's a little UV pen. This here This is the curing machine. All right. I got my UV goggles on. Time to cure this mofo. Die, Corona, die! I'm not pointing this at my arms or skin at all, because if I do, I get 20 watts of UV burn. I'm just gonna clean off and de-corona my shit. De-corona. Bye-bye corona. No corona on my multimeter. No corona on this. Above all, no corona on my little... Erica got me this. One of the first things that she sent me is my little border pair helper. All right. Let's see if it's de-coroned. All right, so let's see. What's this doing here? So this is cured. It's not cured as well as I'd like, so I'm still going to add some more UV using my little pen. Okay, let's see how strong this is now. I think that'll survive the test of time and poking.